Hello folks, and welcome to MRReddy Automation. With this series, I am going to start with Selenium Java automation testing. In this video, before getting into Selenium, I would like to give little background about automation testing. Like what is automation testing? What are the different types of automation testing? What is functional testing? And what are the types of functional testing? And what are the different tools available to perform functional testing? We will take a quick look. Automation testing. Automation testing nothing but it is the process of testing an application with the help of any automation tool by developing automation scripts based on manual test cases. As you can see here, it is the manual test case to verify login functionality. It contains different steps and expected results. So based on this manual test case, how can we test login functionality? Let's see. So you can see steps here. Go to main page, this one. This is the URL. Fill email address and password. Click on login button. So we have to follow these steps. For this, manual interaction is required for each step. Okay, let's open the application. Enter email, enter password, and click on login button. User should be logged in. This is the manual test case. So for each step, our interaction is required. Okay, clear? Now coming to the automation testing, based on this manual test case, we have to develop automation script. And when we run the script, tool will take care of the application testing. For this, our interaction is not required. Let's see. This is our script. Just for now, just understand the difference between manual testing and automation testing. We will learn how to convert manual test cases into automation in upcoming videos. Yeah, application is open. Yeah, it's entered email and password. Click on login button. And the user is logged in successfully, right? This is automation testing. For this, our interaction is not required. Clear? Next, automation testing types. Coming to the automation testing types, there are different types like functional automation testing. It is also called as UI automation testing. First, let's talk about this one. For this testing, we need browser. Okay, again, we can categorize functional testing into different types like smoke testing, Santi testing, regression testing, cross-browser testing, parallel testing, data-driven testing. As a Selenium automation tester, we will focus on functional automation testing only because Selenium supports only functional automation testing. It is developed to perform functional automation testing. This is not our job. Okay. Each company will have separate team to perform performance testing and security testing. We can skip both performance testing and security testing as a functional automation tester. Let's talk about all these testing types one by one. First one is smoke testing. Smoke testing is the process of testing the build which is newly deployed on US server. The object of smoke testing is to check whether our build is stable or not to proceed with further testing. This is also called as a high-level testing or build verification testing. In this testing, we focus on basic functionality of our application. Here, basic functionality means most frequently used functionality by end user. As you can see here, once the build is deployed on QA server, we will perform smoke testing. If smoke test is passed, we will continue with further testing. Okay, it could be individual functionality as part of sprint. It could be Santi testing or full regression testing or cross-bow testing. If smoke test is failed, we will reject the build and we will report the bug. Once the bug is fixed by dev team, again they will deploy the build on QA server and we will continue with smoke testing again. Okay, this is about smoke testing. Next one is Santi testing. Santi testing is an extension of smoke testing. Means once the smoke test is passed, we will perform Santi testing. As you can see here, once the smoke test is passed, we can perform Santi testing, right? In this testing, we will focus on newly added functionality, modified functionality, or impacted functionality and bug fixes. Okay, these are the different functionalities will be tested during Santi testing. The difference between smoke testing and Santi testing is smoke test will be performed on initial build. You can see here, it is newly deployed build. Not sure whether it is stable build or not. Coming to the Santi testing, we will always perform Santi testing on stable build only. Here question is when to perform Santi testing. When major functionality is added or modified at middle of testing and it should be deployed in production. Then we need to perform Santi testing. It's not plant testing like regression. We have to perform at middle of testing as per client request. Santi testing also called as targeted regression testing or subset of regression testing. Once Santi testing is done, it will be ready for production release. Next, regression testing. Regression testing nothing but it is the process of testing the build which is finally integrated and deployed on QA server. Here, finally integrated build means, as you can see here, we have two levels, level 1 and level 2. In level 1, we have 3 sprints, sprint 1, sprint 2 and sprint 3. And each sprint is having 2 builds, build 1 and build 2. And sprint 2 is having build 1, build 2. Sprint 3 is having build 1 and build 2. Total 6 builds are available. So once level 1 is completed, means 3 sprints are completed as part of testing. Dev team will be integrated these 6 builds and it will be deployed in QA server. So once finally integrated build is available in QA server, we have to perform the regression testing. The objective of regression testing is to ensure that the existing functionality is working fine after introducing new functionality and updating the existing functionality and few bug fixes. And also, we have to check whether our build is stable or not to go live. Once the regression testing is completed, the build will be deployed in production server. Next one is cross-browser testing. As part of cross-browser testing, we will execute our scripts on different browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari to make sure our application functionality is working fine on different browsers. Why we have to perform cross-browser testing means, for example, here you can see here login is passed on Chrome, Firefox, but it's been failed on Edge. Reason is login button is not clickable. It happens. We came across different scenarios like this. Okay, one test case will be passed on one browser, but sometimes it will be failed on different browsers due to some buttons are not clickable, some text is not entering into text fields due to browser compatibility issues. So that is the reason we have to verify our application functionality on different browsers. Next one is data-driven testing. As part of data-driven testing, we will execute test cases with different sets of data. As you can see here, it is valid data and it is invalid data. For example, if you take the registration functionality, sometimes we have to validate registration functionality with 100 new users. So completely users are new. So this is also called as bulk registration. Then we can follow this data-driven approach, username and password with different sets of data, and the data should be valid. Okay. In similar fashion, we can perform data-driven testing with invalid data, like valid user, invalid password, valid invalid user, valid password, valid user, and a blank password. These are the different combinations. Okay, we can perform this type of testing also using automation. Next one, parallel testing. Parallel testing, nothing but it is the process of executing more than one test simultaneously. Simultaneously means at a time. Okay. The advantage of parallel testing is it accelerates the execution time. Means we can save a lot of time with the help of parallel testing. As you can see here, we have two execution models, sequential execution and parallel execution. First, let's talk about the sequential execution. Here we have three test cases. Okay, and each test case is taking 5 minutes for execution on one browser. For example, it is taking 5 minutes on Chrome, 5 minutes on Firefox, and 5 minutes on Edge, and 5 minutes on Safari. So total, how much time it is taking? 20 minutes, right? For one test case, it will be taking 20 minutes. So three test cases means 20 into 3 is 60 minutes. So for executing three test cases on four browsers, it is taking 60 minutes. It is sequential execution. Okay. And coming to the parallel execution, it will run test case one on four browsers simultaneously. Whenever we execute this test one, all four browsers will be invoked at a time, and this test will be executed on four browsers at a time. So for test one, the execution will be completed in 5 minutes. Why? Because it is executing simultaneously. At the same time, we can invoke test two on other mission and test three on other test mission. Okay. So we have to trigger these three test cases simultaneously on three missions. In this process, total three test cases will be completed within 5 minutes. Sequential execution, it is taking 60 minutes. For parallel execution, it is taking 5 minutes. Total 55 minutes we are saving here, right? This is the advantage of parallel testing. Okay, let me show you how tests will be run in parallel execution, a real code. Observe here, currently there is no browsers. I executed suit. Now see the magic. Three browsers opened. Okay, it's parallel execution. Just to understand the concept now, we will learn more about parallel testing in upcoming videos. Okay, all tests are fast. Next, we have different functional testing tools in automation world. Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, UFT, Renorex, Sahipro. These are the different functional testing tools. Among all these, Selenium is most popular tool and many companies are using Selenium. Playwright is emerging automation tool. It is Microsoft product and it is also having plenty of job openings. You can learn either Selenium or Playwright as per your interest. Going forward, I will make videos on Playwright as well. Currently, our focus will be on Selenium. That's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.